When you focus your government on diversity, equity, inclusion, LGBTQ pet projects, and you are captured by environmentalists, we have been warning for years that you are worried about abstractions, but you can't do the basic stuff. You can't do the basic necessities of government. Like have a fire hydrant that works during a fire. Like being able to clean up the brush to make sure that fires do not consume your entire city. What is happening right now in California is apocalyptic. I now know of 6 people personally, not like one-off, 6 people personally of homes I have visited that are now gone. That are just gone. Gone. One of our team members, who many of you know, Stacy, her house is just gone. Got her family out. Praise God. I think they had to leave a pet behind. Just terrible. Gone. Another one of our great donors who we actually have the interior of one of our buildings named after, her entire house is gone. Gone. Another one of our friends in the Palisades, whole house is gone. This is some of the worst fires we've ever seen. And joining us now is Peachy Keenan, native Los Angeles resident, author of Domestic Extremist, and also is in the midst of where a lot of these fires are happening. Peachy, welcome to the program. What is the latest on the ground?
Hey, Charlie, how are you? This is so crazy because I grew up in the Palisades Village and the Palisades Riviera, and now I live in the Pasadena and Altadena area. So I'm being hit. Everyone I know right now is basically under evacuation. 2 of my husband's cousins in the Palisades Village, their homes are burned to the ground. Their children's schools burned to the ground. Pali High School is gone. Flatstones, all these iconic restaurants in the Palisades I grew up going to, gone. The Real Inn, my mother, I grew up in the Palisades. My mother lived in Malibu. Those neighborhoods are now destroyed. And here I am now really on the border of Pasadena and Altadena. My house is still standing. We're okay, thank God. Unfortunately, we have several friends now whose homes they just found out this morning are gone here in Altadena. This is not where celebrities live. This is not millionaires. These are like families who have been here for 30, 40 years. My son who's here.
Hey, Charlie.
He's a student at Hillsdale. He is home for Christmas break, and I'm glad he was because he was helping carry all of our things to our car last night. We got our little kids out. And here's the sad thing is that the kind of local hardware store, which is like a famous many-year run family business, Altadena Hardware, we found out this morning that burned to the ground. And both of my sons have worked there, and my son was working there last night selling, emergency supplies to people. And now that's gone. So this is just traumatic. I just walked up 2 blocks. You can see behind me, this whole neighborhood here above New York Avenue, which is like a main east-west thoroughfare, dividing Altadena and Pasadena, is completely engulfed. I was standing in front of homes that were just burnt just to the ground, to the foundation. And it's just absolutely apocalyptic is the right word.
Peachy, I don't want to overly politicize this, but honestly, we have to because it's one-party rule. The state government is controlled by Democrats. The county government is controlled by Democrats. The city government is controlled by Democrats. They are unprepared. They didn't listen to our warnings. For years, we've been telling these people, there's going to be a major fire breakout and the environmentalists are preventing brush cleanup and that they're spending money on sending, let's just say charter flights to Ghana, which is literally, I just got right here. I think the mayor just took a charter flight to Ghana. The mayor of Los Angeles is in Ghana right now, not an exaggeration, and took a charter flight to Ghana. They sent their extra firefighting supplies to Ukraine. Peachy, explain to us the political dynamics here.
Yeah, apparently Mayor Karen Bass defunded the LAFD by something like $20 million or something. We can't even get the homeless junkies, which are literally in Pasadena now. We can't get them to come clean up the tents, to get these people out of there. And every year, it's always the homeless camps in these mountains behind me and in the Santa Monica Mountains. They're the ones who start the fire. I don't know if you remember 3 or 4 years ago, Bel Air burned down, where the 405 comes through by the Getty Center. That almost burned down because of a homeless encampment right there in that valley. And so it's just these stupid policies. They don't clear the brush. They're having no water in Pacific Palisades, which is one of the most expensive zip codes in the world, is actually like that's criminal. That's attempted murder, to be frank.
I mean, this is it true that they were trying to get water out of the fire hydrants and there was no water? How does that even happen?
Yeah, that's what Rick Caruso said. He lives in Brentwood, which I think his daughter in the Palisades lost her home. You know, he's the one who ran for mayor in LA, and he was ahead on election night. I don't know if you recall, a couple years ago. And then miraculously, lo and behold, at 1 a.m, Karen Bass squeaked in a victory ahead of him. Oh, I wonder how that happened. And so he's really the only guy talking sense here. Yeah, and he said last night that there was no water in the fire hydrants. Pacific Palisades, you know, entry level starting home in the Palisades, probably, you know, $3-4 million. So, you know, you expect, like, what do we pay our property taxes to? We can't go to the schools here. The fire departments don't have water. Like, what exactly are we paying for? It's really hard to justify even paying $1 more of property tax.
Let's play cut 65, please. This is Rick Caruso, who should have been mayor of LA. They did everything to prevent him from becoming. Play cut 65.
My heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here.
Peachy.
Yeah, third world country. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, usually the fires are like an encampment under the freeway. And so it's actually hard to know. Is something that's burnt out in LA actually, a fire? Or is it just like another junkie, lighting his crack pipe or whatever? It's just a travesty. And I keep thinking every year, I've lived here my whole life, one day people are going to stop voting for these people. One day, you know, they're going to recall Gavin Newsom. He beat his recall. He got reelected. Like, it's just, what will it take to wake up people in Los Angeles? Maybe this is it. Maybe this is finally it.
I just look at this. This has been for years coming. We had the Thousand Oaks fires back in 2020. We had the similar fires in 2018. This is not the first time we have seen this sort of fire, but can you speak really quickly for a minute for the national audience that doesn't understand the technical nature of how preventable this could be if they just cleaned up the brush? Why don't they do that?
Yeah, apparently the environmental lobby is so strong and they don't want you to like hurt, some chaparral bush that's, endangered or like some endangered lizard. You're not allowed to do anything. You can endanger millions of people's lives and their children and their businesses, but you can't hurt the like nesting ground squirrel or whatever it is. But the other thing is, we get these torrential rainpours. We get these horrible storms once a year. Of course, we haven't had one yet, not one drop of rain yet. We have so much water comes down into the city, so much water, billions of tons of water, and it all goes right into the ocean. It just goes right into the ocean. And everyone's always wondering, like, why don't they just like build, big reservoirs? Why can't you capture this water, have all this water? You could have locally stored water tanks. You could have neighbors fighting their own fires in the Palisades, in Malibu. Malibu's burned down like 10 times in my lifetime, and they've never once organized this. We have the water. We live next to an ocean. But somehow the water that God gives us in rain never quite makes it to the fires.
Trump recommended this years ago. Peachy, if we can have you for another segment, that would be great. But
yeah, sure.
They need to make sure the Delta smelt is prioritized while human beings' homes are destroyed.